Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible and honestly unsung heroes of your body. We're talking about the silent guardian that keeps you alive and stable every single second of every single day. So let's figure out how it works.
Just think about it for a minute. You have trillions of cells, and they all have their own little jobs to do. How on earth do they all coordinate? How does your body know what to do when things change? You know, who's the manager of this whole incredibly complex operation?
A really great way to picture it is to think of your body as a massive, bustling city. All your cells are the inhabitants, right? They're all breathing the same air, using the same resources, and just like any big city, it desperately needs some kind of system to manage everything, from traffic flow to waste disposal, just to keep it from falling into total chaos.
And that city manager? Well, it has a name, and it's the hero of our story today, homeostasis.
So what is it exactly? Homeostasis is this amazing ability your body has to keep its internal world, well, stable. It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold outside, or if you just ate a giant meal, or if you haven't eaten in hours. Homeostasis is there, working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep things like your temperature and your blood sugar in a really narrow, safe range. I mean, without it, our cells just couldn't do their jobs. But how does it do that? I mean, homeostasis isn't magic, right? It's actually a super sophisticated automatic control system. Let's take a look under the hood.
The heart of the whole system is something called a feedback control loop. Think of it as a constant cycle of communication. Your body is always monitoring some condition, checking if it's where it's supposed to be, and then making little adjustments if it's not. It's basically like a super advanced thermostat for your entire body.
So this slide breaks down the 4 key players in that loop. It all kicks off with the receptor. That's a sensor that picks up on a change, like your body temperature suddenly dropping. That sensor shoots a message to the control center, which is usually your brain, and the brain goes, whoa, things are getting off balance. The control center then sends a command out to an effector, say your muscles, which gets the order and takes action. And in this case, the response is shivering, which generates heat, brings your temperature back up, and boom, balance is restored.
Now, this whole control system has 2 main strategies it likes to use. One that pushes back hard against any change, and another that basically hits the gas pedal. And this is where it gets really interesting. Negative feedback is your body's absolute workhorse. The negative part doesn't mean it's bad, not at all. It just means it opposes or reverses a change to get you back to your normal set point. It's all about stability. Positive feedback is the total opposite. It strengthens the change, pushing it further and faster. It's pretty rare, and it's only used for very specific lightning-fast events, because, if you left it unchecked, it could spiral out of control really quickly.
You experience negative feedback all day, every single day. When you get too hot, you start to sweat to cool down. When your blood pressure gets a little too high, your body works to bring it back down. And when your blood sugar spikes after a meal, a hormone called insulin comes to the rescue to store all that extra glucose. It's the system that keeps you on an even keel. For a really dramatic example of positive feedback, just look at blood clotting. When you get a cut, platelets rush to the scene. But they don't just plug the hole. They actually release chemicals that shout for more platelets. So those new platelets show up and release their own chemicals, attracting even more. It's this rapid, self-amplifying cascade that only stops when an outside force, the fully formed clot, signals that the job is done. It's powerful, it's fast, and it's absolutely crucial.
Okay, so this system is obviously vital for our health. Which brings us to a big question. What happens when that balance is broken? What happens when homeostasis fails?
Well, that is, at its very core, the definition of disease. See, it's not just something that happens to you. It's a fundamental state of imbalance inside of you. When your body can no longer maintain that stable internal environment, that's when structure and function start to break down.
When we try to figure out what's gone wrong, we're on the lookout for 2 kinds of clues. Signs are the objective evidence, right? Things a doctor can actually see or measure, like a rash or a high temperature reading on a thermometer. Symptoms, on the other hand, are subjective. They're what you, the patient, feel. Things like pain or fatigue or nausea. Both are absolutely critical pieces of the puzzle when homeostasis gets thrown off.
So what causes this imbalance? Well, some failures are definitely internal, but a lot of diseases are caused by external threats, invaders that are actively trying to disrupt our body's finely tuned systems.
These are called pathogenic organisms, and they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You can think of them as microscopic saboteurs, all trying to hijack the well-run city of your body for their own benefit. So, let's meet a few of the main culprits.
And here they are, a real rogues gallery of tiny troublemakers. You've got viruses, which aren't even technically alive. They just hijack your cell's machinery to make more of themselves. Then there are bacteria. They're everywhere, and while most are fine, some can cause serious problems. You've also got fungi, protists, and even these weird, misfolded proteins called prions. They all represent different kinds of threats that our silent guardian, homeostasis, has to constantly defend against.
So when you stop and think about it, every single day, your body is a battlefield. Countless little struggles for balance are being won, usually without you ever even noticing. It's just a testament to this incredible, resilient system. So the question that leaves us with is this: what can we learn from this constant, silent, and successful fight for stability that's happening inside every one of us right now?